What's going on, guys? This is MMA Complex, September 12th, brand new episode 2017. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And it's awesome to be back. We got a great episode for you guys. We got a fantastic guest today. It's Martin Nguyen, 1FC featherweight champion. He's on the show. We just won the title last month in August, and he's on the show, so we'll have him shortly. But first, 215 just ended, coming off that weekend, a good fight weekend. How do you feel, man? What are your thoughts on the fight and how it all went down?
Well, I think 215...
The whole weekend went down.
Yeah. I think 215 was a good card up until that main event. I think the main event was lackluster. I think the rest of the card was pretty good. It almost reminded me of the Toronto card.
Yeah.
When on paper it didn't seem like the best card, but it delivered. But as far as the main event goes, I mean, people are up and up. Not a lot of people, but I've heard things and read things online about the decision with Amanda Nunes getting the nod for the win. But yeah. I gave Amanda 3 rounds out of the 2. It was a close fight, but I think Amanda did enough to keep her title.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the fight, it was one of those things where, you have to. It goes back to that old saying: you have to beat the champ, or you have to I don't know what does it go take it to the champ to be the champ.
To be the champ.
Yeah, you gotta really make a statement in order to take a belt from a champion, because you can't make it close, and if you make it close. It's
most likely you're gonna lose.
It's that close, yeah. They're gonna side with the champ most of the time.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're gonna side with the champ. So that I already knew going in at the end. I was like, it's most likely not gonna go in Valentina's way, even though she thought it would. I could see it. Maybe them going in. It depends on what the judges were looking for. If they counted that last takedown a lot, if they counted more of Valentina's counters than Amanda's pressure, it depends on what they were looking at.
Yeah, I mean, because Amanda did it go forward. She used a lot of clinch work, a lot of dirty boxing. But I think Valentina did land some strikes that were critical in the fight. I think Valentina kind of beat herself by letting herself get taken down in that last round, and nowadays a lot of judges kind of look at who's going forward, who's pressing the action. And even though you're not doing nothing with a takedown, they kind of sided with the person, getting a takedown than someone just staying there on their back.
Yeah. I mean, it was a close fight, but definitely Amanda, I think, deserved the nod, and she got the win. And I mean, she's a rightful champion in my eyes still. Maybe not the most exciting title defense ever. Controversial split decision. Yeah, but it was definitely in her favor. But I know she was kind of trying to make a statement saying that she went all 5 rounds, that she didn't tire out, that she was the one pressing the action. And in a lot of ways, I felt like,
she looked pretty tired in that 5th round.
You kind of looked at, I mean, in a lot of ways, you were also kind of coasting those last few rounds because you didn't throw that much. You're pressing the action. Yeah, you got the takedown. But to me, it's like, even when she got the takedown, she was staring up at the clock. That was mainly just a stall time. To me, it's like you went those 5 rounds, but it wasn't a hard last 3 rounds or last 2 rounds. It wasn't a difficult all-out war that you went through.
I agree.
So you kind of got by,
Yeah, and then I mean, it was unfortunate for Edmonton because DJ couldn't break the record. Borg couldn't. I mean, he didn't make it to the fight, which is kind of ironic. I think because I think. DJ before that fight was saying that the reason why he didn't want to fight TJ is because he couldn't make weight. And then this didn't happen with Borg.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I
felt bad for DJ. When I saw the news come out, I was like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, it's kind of good because that fight wasn't getting promoted properly as far as DJ, going for the record. So I think it gives up the UFC to do things right and really push him.
That's true.
As someone who's going to break the record. I mean, 215 didn't feel like an important card only because it's in between 216, which is a stellar card with Ferguson and
Kevin
Lee fight. So I think if given a better push, and put it in the card with someone like a superstar, maybe like a Conor main event and DJ in a co-headliner, it'll give DJ that spotlight to really have people see that he's a 10-time defending champion.
Yeah, they definitely have a second chance
To do things right.
to do the promotion right. You know, I mean, even though like DJ would probably say that, I think he did go on and say that this fight was actually promoted a lot better than his last few fights. But even then, they could put him on a card. I think they're planning on doing 216 with him.
Yeah.
Or 217. I wanted, I think 216.
Yeah, so that'll be good because Ferguson and Cameron Lee.
And they put that fight on there. I think it'll be good. I think it'll, you know, I doubt it's gonna happen though. I doubt it's gonna happen. Like, I don't see Ray Borg going through another weight cut, a short-term weight cut to make the weight. I don't see it happening.
And then, I mean, Carter's gonna be an issue, but you couldn't have much weight.
Yeah.
And then DJ's he never slows down.
Yeah. And then DJ having to go through another round of weight cutting with even a shorter length of time. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for all of them. But I don't see them putting it on the 216 card. I mean, it's possible, but
maybe they do a 3 shadow fight in December in New York.
That'll be a good one. Yeah. That'll be a good one. But the you know that news that you know that came out, it was unfortunate, especially with Ray Borg. He pulled out of his, I think, the last fight in December, or one of his last fights. So he's kind of known for not making weight and having health issues the week of. And I think he even made a statement saying that, like, I think he's let go of his nutrition coach. He's making some necessary changes. I mean, this happens too often with him.
Yeah, it kind of makes DJ kind of, I don't want to say he looked bad, but he, you know, I mean, it seemed like he was dunking TJ because he didn't want to fight him for that reason. Yeah. And knowing Borg's history of not making weight, it looks kind of bad on him in a way.
Yeah, and it does suck because you want to see all the good things happen with DJ, and the fact that he went through that whole thing with Dana, went through the whole thing with TJ, got the fight he wanted, and then it all just fell through in the end.
And he was pretty much backing Borg, saying that, you know, he's made the weight before, and that's what, you know, and that was his main argument point was he can make weight, and he didn't make weight, and I believe that TJ could have made weight.
TJ could have made weight, and I like the TJ fight from a competitive standpoint, but TJ's not necessarily in the weight class anymore. You know what I mean? And it's just like for him to jump. He
was in it for an opportunity at a belt.
Yeah, like TJ's, I don't think deserves just a shot at any belt he wants. You can go and fight all the other contenders in, like, if I was DJ, I'd make him fight all the contenders in my division. At least the top two, one of the top two.
Yeah, Benavidez and maybe Cejudo.
And if you get by them, then you get a shot at me. But you're not going to jump over everybody, even if I did beat them, most of them already.
Yeah, the whole argument of former champion, he's a former champion, but this is a new weight class. He needs to earn that title shot. He needs to
earn that title shot, and he's not a current champion. So
well, I mean, TJ got his wish anyway. He's going to fight Cody in December, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. So that news with DJ, and then the fight overall, it's a good card. It was a good weekend of fights. Today, we got the news that John Jones's B sample came back also positive.
Yeah.
For Turnbull, and not good news for John Jones. This is another. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. There was an article by Kevin Ayoli saying that there are some the aspect that the fact that it tested positive within a short period of time shows that there is a chance that this could have been an accidental ingestion, because he did pass all the other drug tests before that, and there were several before that leading up to the fight week, and this Turnbull substance has a length of at least 2 months in your system. So you have that 2-month window to get caught, and he passed a bunch of tests leading up to it and just failed that one
in competition
weight, you know, during the weigh-ins process. So there is a chance that, you know, he might get cleared or get a lesser suspension because of this, but we have to see. But it came back positive, so that's the news. Breaking news, big news today, which is the 12th. Tomorrow, when this episode airs, most likely it's going to be on the 13th. You guys will know this already.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare that a B sample is negative when the A sample is positive, because they pretty much put it. It's pretty much the same test. It's separate cups or whatever. I don't know. Team simple or not, I think John Jones is reckless. I mean, if you got popped before for the same thing, you would think that you'd be more cautious the second and third time around. And the fact that he isn't,
Yeah.
the fact that we know how Andy Foster is, he's a zero tolerance guy, and the California State Athletic Commission is in charge, has jurisdiction for this test. I don't see him getting less than 4 years. I don't know.
Minimum, I see 2 years minimum, and
Yeah,
that's if
I
they
don't.
really find him like
I don't see that happening only
knowingly
because
taking it.
yeah, I don't see it happening just because
No?
he's been popped already for being reckless
Yeah.
within the last couple of years. I mean, UFC 200 he popped for reckless. I mean, are they really going to give him another hall pass?
They might.
I don't know.
They might.
I mean, if it was in Vegas, I'd say might, just because the
Because it's
revenue that
California,
John
it's Andy
Jones.
Foster, and it's
The fact that it's in California, Andy Foster is zero tolerance guy.
yeah.
Vegas is kind of dirty. They if they know John Jones can bring revenue to the city, they'll give him a hall pass. But
Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see that happening with Andy Foster.
Yeah, LA and Southern California and California in general really isn't suffering for big time shows and action.
Exactly.
So
I say 4 years. You say 2 years. See what happens.
I think he's probably gonna get 3.
Yeah, I think the hearing set for October 17th, I believe. But it can be before or after. Who knows? But I see 4 years just because of the John Jones history.
It's gonna be interesting. I want to know if on the 17th, if that's gonna, he probably will get. Maybe they would probably determine if they're gonna find him, that he took it knowingly or unknowingly, and they're gonna probably do a second hearing for the punishment. So they'll probably do 2 separate ones for the it's almost like a trial, and then for the sentencing.
Yeah, it's gonna be in LA.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. But not good news for John Jones. It's unfortunate, man. He's one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, going down. And
yeah, it's a 30 for 30 in the future.
It's gonna be a good one. Yeah.
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 I don't know. I decided this right now. Like maybe we can hit up Andy Foster so we can attend the hearing.
That's yeah. Why not? Let's shoot him a text or something. Yeah.
It'd be pretty crazy
Because it's gonna be in LA, so we don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
in
travel
LA.
that far. So yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, but
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it's public. It's for the public, so I think anybody can just walk in there and just sit down.
Yeah, most likely. I think so. Yeah. But it's gonna be a crowded room. It's gonna be a seriously crowded room. I wonder if they do media credentials separately for that, like different for the.
And if they do, then we gotta sell ourselves to MMA Fighting or the Fight Network.
Yeah.
One of the Fight Network. That Fight Network's cool. Wei Ting, John Jones, and John Pollock are.
If you haven't seen speaking of Wei Ting, catch the latest episode of Review Raw.
Yeah, came out yesterday
on the Fight Network. You have Wei Ting and John Pollock on there, and then Wei Ting, a good friend of the show, who we actually got to see while he was in town in LA, which is pretty cool. Got to spend some time with him. Actually met him for the first time in person, which is kind of. I was telling you, it felt weird that we hadn't met him in person. Like,
because he lives in Toronto,
and he's been on the show 3-4 times already, and it was weird. I was like, yeah, we haven't met him in person. I felt like I knew him already.
From the conversation. Yeah, because our interviews are pretty lengthy. So
and we're good friends with him, but it's from a distance. And then now we actually got to go have dinner and just hang out. But he's wearing one of the official shirts.
Yeah, check it out.
So you check that out.
Yeah, thanks Wei Ting for that. Like you didn't have to do it, so we really appreciate all the love and support that you give the MMA Complex. So those are the guys who are watching. Go and subscribe to the Fight Network and also subscribe to The Law on YouTube as well.
Yeah, Venice Beach, like I think it's underrated.
Oh, very
in terms
very
of,
very underrated.
I mean, because people only think of the beach itself, but the town itself has like a lot of good.
Very
places
liberal.
It's like a college town. Like you would think there would be like a big college nearby, and there might be that I don't know of. Maybe like a small like artsy college, but. There's a lot of like college age people wandering around, especially a lot of females. Yeah. And you got the boardwalk, the beach boardwalk, which is always,
a show in itself.
A bunch of characters.
Side shows, yeah.
Really good place. that we went to was a Venice
Ale House, was it?
Ale House.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite spots there. They have always good food and good beers.
Yeah.
But we went there.
It was surreal.
Yeah.
I at one point I was just staring at Wei Tang. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting next to him.
Because James is a big fan of he watches all the Fight Network stuff,
Yeah.
especially Review of Raw, Live Audio Wrestling, all
Yeah.
that. He eats up all that stuff.
And what connected me to that show was Wei Ting's attitude. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that a wrestling podcast even existed until I came across. I didn't know how I came across it. I think I was searching Bret Hart, and then I think they interviewed Bret Hart recently when I was searching it. So that's how I got in touch with them. But I mean, like, you're a total pro. I'm like a little fucking girl, fanboying the whole time.
No, to me, I was like, I just felt like I was seeing a good friend that just
was in town.
Was in town. That was it.
I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, which when you get to know different people, and they always have, my friends in town from so and so or whatever. Like, I never had a friend that was like from out of town,
from out of the country,
yeah, or like, but like I have. I think as I've gotten older, I've made a lot more friends, and like in different areas and outside of my little town or school or whatever, or place of work, and you start to have, as you get older, those people that you know.
No, it's pretty cool. And then, like,
live in different areas.
Like, doing the show, I opened a lot of doors to meet people that we like look up to and admire. But I mean, I gotta say, with Wei and John are the probably and then New York Rick as well are the three guys that come to my head when it comes to supporting the show, calling us friends. Other people just say that our names, but these guys are actually considered as friends, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how this show has, like, we've been able to develop relationships, friendships, like with people that we've only known from afar, like in the MMA world, and people know who we are, or like Ariel knows who we are.
Yeah,
Ariel Hawani, the biggest person in MMA journalism, MMA media, whatever, knows who we are. New York Rick, his right hand man, is our good friend.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wei Ting from the Fight Network, Pollock, John, Robin Black,
guys that we looked at that we used to watch on YouTube all the time.
Esther Lynn, Mark Ramundi, Casey, like everybody, all these people. Like, it's kind of crazy that we go to an event or we see them and we can say what's up.
Seeing old friends,
say what's up, give them a handshake, give them a hug, whatever, and like they know who we are, and we can. It's just crazy, kind of like how this show has helped us develop these relationships.
Yeah, it's. I mean, just for going to work and coming here, that's worth it for the relationships that we made.
Yeah, and then all the events that we get to go to or cover, fighters that we get to talk to.
Yeah, it's really awesome. A privilege. Yeah,
and just on that topic and kind of like what the show's brought us, I think this episode, because we didn't do one last week, is, I guess, our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, and I know that too because I get the Facebook memories.
Yeah,
and I can't believe it.
We could call this episode our official 2-year anniversary episode.
And I think we've done a lot in 2 years, and it's only
done
going to
a
grow
lot
more.
In 2 years. Yeah,
things that I could never even fathom. Whatever happened has happened.
Yeah, definitely.
I think our first year was like
our first year was like the first 6 months was cool because we're getting our feet wet, and we're it was coming along, and we're getting fighters, and like it was crazy. But like once the year started, that whole, what was it, 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2016. That whole year was like one of our, like, that was such a gigantic year.
Yeah,
a lot of like development for the show. A lot of and big name guests. We had Mark Hunt. When they covered Glory several times. Bellator, that event over there in Bellator was amazing.
Yeah, we judged the Phil Davis fight in King Mo.
King Mo.
That was like
cage side. That was like the highlight right there.
Yeah.
Like Combate, we got Combate Americas. We were there from like the very beginning there and got to see all those events. EBI, way before they were on Fight Pass, we got there. We were like on, I think, EBI 5 or whatever. Now they're on 12.
Yeah. So
it's like, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy what we've done in that short amount of time. And then, this year we've gotten to do some cool things and at least talk to a lot of cool people, and it's been kind of slow, but it's also been a big transitional year in terms of our own personal lives. So
Yeah.
that's also come into play. But we're gonna press forward and do our thing and just have fun with it.
Yeah. So stay tuned, guys.
Yeah. So our first guest, we're gonna get to our first guest, our only guest of the show today. It's Martin Nguyen. He's one FC, one championship, featherweight champion, and he just won this past August. Defended a loss and got the belt, and is 9-1, and just on top of the world right now over at one championship. And he's on the show today. And here is our interview with Martin Nguyen. So Martin Nguyen, one championship featherweight champion, just got your title this past August. Man, how are you feeling? It's got to be the best time in your life right now, right?
Man, I'm still over the moon. Everything we worked for, man, we did it. We left no stones unturned, and the fight played in our favor. We mentally broke him, so yeah. Still over the moon.
Yeah.
The best part of that fight is you avenge a loss, and you also defend your title. Talk about coming into that fight, because once you fight someone already and losses to an opponent, it must be a lot of pressure on yourself to make sure not only do you defend your title but also avenge that loss.
That fight was probably one of the most important fights in my career. Not only was it for the title again that I had the opportunity to fight for it again, but it was to avenge my loss. And the first fight that we had was I lost in pretty devastating fashion. 41 seconds. I mean, no one's going to ever let that go.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's going to be a blemish on my record. So the whole goal was to avenge my loss and get redemption, and finish him in devastating fashion and expose him in a way where everyone else will be, using it against him now. So
yeah. When you landed that right hand, was that something you guys worked on? Did you know that that would eventually catch him, or was it just kind of like one of those things you saw the opening, you threw it, and then the rest is history?
Yeah, no. So that overhand was something we did plan on doing, and it wasn't only for that fight. It was mainly since I fought Christian Lee and then onto Yokota. So we knew that whenever they came into fighting the pocket with me, they left themselves exposed, and the right hand is the most powerful punch when it comes to the pocket punch. So we used it to our advantage, and whenever he came forward, I just threw it and made him realize that it's there, and he got reckless at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that win puts you at 9-1, I believe, 6 TKOs and 3 submissions. So you put yourself on the map. I think you're a force to be reckoned. Talk about some of your goals for this year as far as defending your title, and do you have an idea when you want to fight again and against who?
Yeah, so we're in talks at the moment about defending the belt.
Okay.
This year, hopefully December, on the last card in Thailand. So
nice.
Opponent wise, there's 2 opponents that I have in mind. A is Kotetsu Boku, who's makes sense. He's on a winning streak.
Yeah.
He was the ex lightweight champion. So I mean, he's the one that the fight that makes sense in terms of guys on winning streaks at the moment. Other than that, the other guy I want to fight is Bibiano, and I want that to be a super fight. And
nice. That'd be a great fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, we're going to be putting on a show. So either way, everyone's going to be amused about it. So
yeah. Or is it like a fight like these opponents, and especially the fight with Bibiana, is that something you brought up to one? Has it? And what were their thoughts on that?
No, I did bring it up to one. The reason why I brought it up to one was throughout fight camp, throughout fight week, I was 68 kilos. And bantamweight for 1FC, because there's no more weight cuts, is at 6-6 cutoff. So, I mean, 2 kilos, if I get my diet and my training right, as I said, I can make that weight, and I can make that super fight happen. It's all up to me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I want to get back down to 68 first before I actually start calling out Bibiano. But Bibiano knows I'm after him.
Yeah.
He's shared the post. He knows what's up, but it's up to him if he wants to at a super fight catch weight or at his weight. So it doesn't really matter. I'm down to fight anyone.
Yeah.
So is that like you're going to be a two division champion at bantamweight and at featherweight?
Yeah, if I can make that happen, and make history in one, why not?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I believe that like your fighting style, and obviously like you're like a good looking guy who fights really well. I think he can kind of put more eyeballs on your fights as far as the U.S. market can kind of see your fights because here in America, like people want to see fighters kind of go forward and have that devastating finish ability, and you have it. So I think you have sky's the limit for you as well.
Thanks, man. 100% finish rate. All our fight camps, we work on finishing our opponents. Whether it'll be in the first round, the third round, or the fifth round if it gets to that stage. But we're always preparing for a finish and always preparing for worst case scenario. So worst case scenario for us is going to decision.
Yeah.
So the cardio has to be there. We're professionals at the end of the day, and best case scenario is finishing him off when the time's there. So you got to have that killer instinct,
Yeah.
and just be ready for it. So
yeah.
You're based out in Australia, but it's in Sydney, right?
Yes, it is.
So when you go overseas to fight for one, where's one of the locations that you like to fight the most? Which city do you like to?
To be honest, throughout the 6 or 5 cities that I've been to, I think Singapore would be the closest to feeling at home. Just being clean environment, people speak English there.
Yeah.
And then other than Singapore, it would be Manila and then Macau. Like the list goes on, but everywhere I go, man, it's a true blessing, man.
Yeah.
So.
And you're of Vietnamese descent, correct?
Yeah. So my heritage.
Would that be like a location that would on your bucket list?
Yeah. So one championship is on the brinks at the moment of cracking into Vietnam, and hopefully if they do that, I'd love to defend my title there if it gets to that stage. But at the moment it's all talks and speculations, but we're trying to crack into there. So. Nice. See how it goes.
Nice. Awesome. Now, different fighters have different stories as far as why you got in the sport. So tell the fans like your story behind like your fighting.
So how I started in mixed martial arts. I was playing rugby over here. I started when I was 6 years old. So my parents put me in rugby. It was a national sport over here, rugby league. So I played it up until I was 19, and I actually just retired and I quit rugby because there was just too much injuries. I was doing my knees. I was breaking fingers. I was dislocating fingers.
It's a real sport.
A tough sport,
dislocated shoulders, and it was just constant. The last straw was my shoulder, my right shoulder. Kept dislocating, and it was like every 3 days I was dislocating it, and I got over it within that year. And so I caught it quits for rugby league. And it wasn't until that was at 19. It wasn't until I was about 21 is when I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it wasn't as big back then. I had started off. I'd never even heard of it. Started it and just fell in love with it. And it was like a new competitive beginning, man. So we took it on from there and lost a bit of weight. Went up to about 86 kilos. So lost a bit of weight from that and started competing. Mixed martial arts later that year. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I read that you said you got fat in between rugby and mixed martial arts.
Yeah, man. I went up to 86 kilos. So I was walking around 70, went up to 86, and I was pretty fat, man.
No, I'm fat. Now, I know like you fight for one, obviously, but is there any fighters outside of one that you kind of drew to fighting in your division?
I haven't even looked that far, man. The main focus that I'm focusing on is just now, basically, and who's around and who's worthy of fighting for the belt. I mean, I was a fight that made sense apparently to one. I was on a 4-fight winning streak, and apparently they were finding it hard to get opponents for Marat because no one wanted to fight him, man.
Yeah.
I was the one that made sense. So I stepped up to the plate again, and that was my destiny, to fight for that title again, and I wasn't gonna let it slip out of my hands like the first time.
Yeah,
awesome.
So, what have you maybe added to your are you planning to add to your camp, your training camp for the next coming fight? Is this something that you felt like you needed to work on from the last one, from the fight with Murad, that you like, okay, I need to work on this in the next couple of weeks or months until your next fight?
Yeah. So the fight against Murad, we trained as per usual, man, since the first fight with Christian up until Yokota, and Murat was. We obviously knew that his ground game was his legit skill set. So when it came to the grappling side and the wrestling side, we focused a lot on what he specialized in. And in terms of the whole fight came from striking to cardio, we did everything as per usual, man. Yeah. So it wasn't that much of a change unless it was on the ground.
Nice.
And do you see a difference of being champion now as far as like more eyeballs on you and more media, obligations and whatnot?
Yeah, no, everything it's still the same as usual, man. Like in terms of media and training, everyone came together when it came to the fight camp, so everything was the same, man. So it's just now that when I have the belt, everyone wants to interview, and you know what, it's the same thing, man. I have no hate against it, so it's pretty cool.
It kind of comes with the territories. You get a lot more attention now. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's what you get when it comes to when you become champion, anyway.
Yeah. And how do you feel with being now a champion and representing one as a champion? Working with the organization and promoting yourself, promoting the sport, and promoting the organization and all. What are you looking forward to? All that entails, like what I guess being more of a part of the organization as a champion.
No, I'm just trying to enjoy the ride, man. I mean, it's this moments like these, it's not going to last forever. So whatever comes, whatever happens, man, I'm just going to enjoy the ride and happy to go for the flight,
Yeah.
Now, besides fighting, do you have any hobbies outside the cage that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just trying to move at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. We're taking a tour of your house.
Yeah.
You
saw your girlfriend in the background somewhere.
Your wife.
The wife is going to get
wife,
her hair done.
The wife,
yeah. So in terms of
your hobbies.
Just the goals itself, man. It's still gonna be the same, bro. So no difference.
Yeah, the family in the back now. All right. Where are you
guys
have
a look. Say hello.
Hi.
He's like, who are those guys?
They look funny.
The wife's gonna get her hair done, man. Sorry, bro. So I'm just gonna put these earphones on and continue along.
Yeah, for sure.
But we just wanted to give you a chance to, shout out to the fans, maybe send them a message, or your sponsors, and let the people know where to find you on social media. That'll be basically.
Yeah, no, thanks, bro. So basically, the guys that's been with me from day one will be KMA Top Team. That's the gym that I train with. All the boys from KMA, big up and comers, all on winning streaks at the moment. So far, we're undefeated this year. Yeah. Other guys is Fighters Against Child Abuse Australia. It's a non-profitable charity that I support as well in Australia. Bad Boy has been with me for the whole of this year. Nice. So Bad Boy has been looking after me as well. And just Century Martial Arts Supplies, man.
Awesome.
Other than that, man, follow me on my Facebook page. Is Martin the Situation Nguyen. Best MMA nickname in MMA game.
Yes.
On my Instagram, at It's Martin, with 2 I's and 2 N's at the end.
Yeah.
And my Twitter is Martin Nguyen KMA.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Martin, for coming on, and we look forward to seeing your progression in one, and you defending that belt, and don't forget to us small people in the future, man, when you get bigger.
Nah, never,
bigger.
Man, never. Thanks, guys. No, you guys are true blessing, man. True blessing to talk to you guys.
All right, awesome, man. Likewise. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Thanks, brother. Thank you, guys. Take care, please.
All right, bye. All right, you guys. That was Martin Nguyen, who is a one championship featherweight champion. Thanks for coming on, Martin. I really enjoyed his interview, and you guys should check him out. He's a really excellent and aggressive fighter.
Yeah, really talented individual, and just go watch his highlight reel, man. The guy's a specimen. So he's gonna have a big bright future in one, and also in MMA. He's like 28 years old. He's under 30, barely hitting his prime. So if even hit his prime yet, and so it's gonna be interesting to see where that guy goes.
Yeah.
Next up in terms of what to discuss for the week, you had Joanna and Jacek and Thug Rose. That matchup got announced. It's slated for 217. That's a big matchup. It's a big, long-awaited title fight for Thug Rose. We've always talked about her being title contention at some point. It's finally happening. What was your thoughts on this fight actually getting announced and made?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's the biggest fight they can make at 115. I think Rose Namajunas is deserving of the title fight. I think it's a perfect time for Rose. She's mentally prepared. I think for Joanna. I think at the end, I think Joanna's going to beat Rose. I don't see Rose getting past the third round, but who knows? I mean, it's a fight, anything can happen. But I'm really excited for this fight.
This fight is a long time coming for Rose. I think this is probably the best time that it could actually happen for her.
Yeah.
This is probably the time that she needed it to happen. All the other times would have been way too early. We've seen her progression. She's gotten better. She gotten more mature. And this is the best time for her.
Yeah.
Now, that saying, I still think Joanna is going to take it. I think it's going to be a one-sided fight. And I mean, there is always a chance for Rose to win. She's dangerous. She's durable. All that, but I would say Joanna is probably gonna put on a striking clinic against Thug Rose. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Rose she's a great striker, but she's not at Joanna's level.
No.
Not too many girls are. I think it's Joanna and then everybody else. Which is unfortunate for Rose, but I think with this fight, it'll definitely give Rose experience, and I can see her grow from this fight. But I don't see her winning this fight.
Yeah, I don't see it either. And I mean, it's great. I love seeing Joanna fight. I mean, just we've talked about it going back and watching some of her old fights, and I've gotten the chance to see her fight in person too, and it's great. You're seeing a future Hall of Famer, at the prime of her career right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
It's very exciting. I can't wait for that fight to happen. That's a big fight. It's on 217 card. Now, you also have, in other news, one more thing to touch on. You have Brian Stan announcing his departure from the organization, announcing his departure from UFC commentating. This is it for Brian. He's off in terms of starting a career in real estate, which seems to be the more popular
route to go.
Route to go for MMA fighters is real estate. But he's going there. He's got a really cushy gig. 9 to 5 type of job, and he's going to have time with his family, and now that was his main reason, and also the fact that the UFC TV deal's coming up, so there's a lot of uncertainty there in terms of what's going to happen. But what are your thoughts on his departure?
I'm bummed out. I think he's the cream of the crop when it comes to commentators and analysts. But I think the UFC has other great ones like DC, Dominic Cruz, the most notable ones. No, but I think it's good. I think anytime a fighter can find work and make money outside of fighting, I think it's a good thing. So I'm gonna miss his work for Fox and for the UFC, but I'm happy for him at the same time.
Yeah, it's gonna be sad because he's one of the best in the business in terms of fight commentary, like that's live while it's happening. Other guys are do really well. In terms of on the analyst booth, like Dominic Cruz, he does probably one of the best there. But Brian Stan he's a person that commands respect. He's intimidating. He's got a fantastic, professional career in sports, and he's one of those guys that he's a good representative of the sport when he makes his way out to speak with people that are not involved or that knowledgeable of the sport.
Yeah.
When they
uneducated,
a little uneducated, or when people like from Fox Sports talk to him or NFL guys talk to him, Brian Stan's the type of person that commands respect, and this guy's a professional fighter, had a really stellar career.
He's a real life GI Joe as well.
Yeah, he's a real life GI Joe, and I mean it's definitely a loss for the UFC in terms of filling that commentating booth spot, because there's not a lot of guys out there that can do it to that level and are as knowledgeable as him, and it's going to be tough to fill that spot. There's not a whole lot of guys out there. I'm wondering how they're actually going to fill that gap, because Rogan is limited his schedule a lot. So, and then Mike Goldberg's out. So there's a lot of shoes to fill, a lot of holes there, in the commentating booth. So it's gonna be tough. Last topic was fight picks. There's a lot of fights going on this weekend. You got the Canelo Triple G fight unboxing that's going on. That's a big fight that everybody's going to be talking about this week. You have One Championship 61 Total Victory. That one's September 16th. Online pay-per-view. Make sure you go onto their website to catch that. Cage Warriors 86 on UFC Fight Pass. Also September 16th. Catch that there, UFC Fight Pass. And the big one for at least MMA this weekend is the return of Luke Rockhold against David Branch. That's at UFC Fight Night 116. And this is going to be, it's a really good card. A lot of people on here. Tony Martin, you have Sergio Moraes, you have Hector Lombard. Co-main event, we'll just go with the co-main event and main event for this card. Thiago Alves, Mike Perry. Who do you have?
I like Mike Perry. He's a young fighter, younger than Thiago. I think he has a lot going for him. Thiago is at the tail end of his career. He hasn't been the same since, so I think I like Mike Perry.
I like Mike Perry too. He's a dangerous guy. I think this is a perfect fight, big name for him to get up there again and make a name for himself. Even more so, this guy's a dangerous guy. So Thiago's gonna have his hands full on this fight. I'll probably go Mike Perry also as a favorite. Luke Rockhold, David Branch, the return of Luke Rockhold. I miss Luke Rockhold. It's glad to have him back.
Yeah, same here.
I think the UFC needs him in terms of star power. So who do you got for this fight?
I like Luke Rockhold. I think he has that UFC experience. He's a former champion. I think it's too much too soon for David, but I mean it's a fight. Anything can happen, but I see Luke finishing him within 3 rounds.
Yeah, I agree. Way too much too soon. David didn't fight I think barely even fought a top 10 guy. Yeah. Maybe in that top 15. I forgot who he fought on his last fight. To go from that to a top 5, I mean that's a lot to ask for. And not even just any top 5. You got Luke Rockhold, who's probably one of the toughest top 5s there. You have obviously Musasi, and
he's a very big
was there. But Chris Weidman, you'll remember all this. List goes on and on.
He can easily fight at heavyweight.
Yeah, but David Branch, it would have been better for David Branch to take another couple more fights before he got some of the top 5 caliber. But you never know. I mean, David Branch is a dangerous guy. 2-division champ over in WSOF. Obviously made a name for himself, and always a dangerous guy. And it's MMA, so you never know. But I would definitely go with Luke Rockhold as being the favorite for this one. So
definitely.
Definitely Rockhold Branch. You got to check that out. Unfortunately, it's on all these fights are on the same night as the big Canelo Triple G fight, which is gonna dominate the headlines. So, I honestly, in terms of styles, I don't see that fight being a disappointment. I'm pretty much glad that it's gonna take place this weekend, and then we don't have to hear about it that often after this, because
it's
a lot of those
last big match. Yeah.
It's boxing probably last big match of the year. And not hating on boxing, but is this hating on boxing fans? So-called expert fans or experts on TV, and the casual general public that doesn't even watch boxing and talk about this fight and asking, who do you have? Who do you have? Who do you have? Who do you got for this fight? Who do you have? Oh, I got Triple G. I'm like, and honestly,
you ask them to name one fight in the other card, they can't do it.
Ask them to name one fighter in the same weight category as these guys, and they wouldn't be able to do it. Ask them when was the last fight that they can name that wasn't a Canelo
Triple G
or a Triple G, or I bet you they didn't even see the Triple G's last fight, because he's even less popular in terms of casual fans than Canelo. So, just ask them, and they probably didn't even. Most of the people didn't even watch like a Ward Kovalev. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like you ask them, they probably won't know who Ward or Kovalev are. You know what I mean?
Doubt it.
These people, you know what I mean? Like in these casual, and not to hate on the general public, it's just, but it's that thing that boxing still has on the hold of the general public, that long time, especially like
the long history of boxing.
The long history of boxing still has that. They're conditioned the general public to just obviously pick a winner and get hyped up for
one fight,
one fight on the card that they know about, and one fight a year. And
it's pretty much the television on inside, and everybody else in that house is outside.
Yes,
and then everybody comes inside when the main event starts.
And I'm sure this is not just like in Mexican households, or this is probably much in everybody's casual household, where it's like, You have one or two people that actually know about the sport.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two, if that. And then the rest of the people there are just eating and drinking and not even watching the TV until the main event starts. Yeah. And that's
the only time they watch TV is on the way to the bathroom. They kind of glance to see who's fighting.
Hey, who's
hey man, who's fighting? I don't know, this Mexican guy and this black guy. I don't know their names, but the fight hasn't started yet.
Hey, is it Triple G or Canelo up yet? No, you got like 2 more fights. Okay, call me when it's on.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
And usually like their 10-year-old son has the chore will have to sit there and let dad know and his friends know when the fight
all the kids
ends.
running around.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen when there's a big MMA fight, because when there's a big MMA fight, especially a UFC fight, like they do a really good job of promoting their main event and their co-main event, and the whole card will have at least a couple of fighters that the general public or at least casual MMA fans that tune in once in a while will probably recognize.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't happen, and the fights are so exciting. It doesn't happen in MMA. It's only in boxing that kind of stuff happens, where you experience that kind of environment. But you could tell that we're like kind of over it and looking to be done with it.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
So all the fight fans out there, boxing, MMA, whatever. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Go to themmacomplex.com. Get everything MMA Complex, past episodes, and official T-shirts.
Yeah, you can follow us on social media. You can follow me on Twitter, MMA Complex James, JYMZ. You can follow him on Twitter, MMA Complex Josh. You can follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all under one name, MMA Complex. This weekend's card features Return of Luke Rockhold. Looking forward to that. Josh and I are going to cover that on the next episode. So until then, enjoy the fights, enjoy your week.